All right, welcome back to the Lawn Care Grandpa channel. And today I'm here with Jerry McMillan. He's had over 40 years of experience in the lawn care and landscaping industry. And he's here to share some of his experience with you. Now today we're going to be talking about tall grass versus short grass. Now a lot of it's just a matter of preference and opinion, but we want to talk about some of the issues around what it's like to have tall versus short grass and some of the stuff you need to look for.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do it. So why would someone want tall grass or short grass? What's the reasons people might want to have those?
Well, really, if you like things to look green and healthy, you probably let your lawn get longer as summer goes in, because cutting it too short will cause a lot of it to dry up and die off. But a lot of people like particular short grass, say right around their house where they can walk and not get too wet, but still yet you can't let it get too dry and too short at the same time. So it's wise to let it get a little longer as summer progresses wherever you are, because it'll help the grass to stay healthy and don't take off too much, no more than a third at any one time. But as it gets shorter, you won't have to cut it as often. That's, like you said, some people's preference.
So when some people, they like stripes in their lawn, like they do those patterns. Which would be better, short or tall grass?
Well, obviously the longer grass will make the lines and the paths look more obvious, and of course it'll change directions every time you change directions with the mower. But anyway, it does look attractive, and letting it get a little longer will help to do that for you.
So it may seem like, self-explanatory, but which would take more care, a longer grass or a shorter grass?
Well, actually, if you cut it a little bit short and you get used to when your grass is going to need mowing again, it'll need less mowing if you like it short. If you want it to get long and tall, actually, once it gets to a certain height, say 4 inches, why, it'll need cutting pretty often, but you never want to cut it too short. Don't take off more than 1/3 of the height of the grass. But it's a matter of choices, a matter of time of the year, a matter of where at in the country you are, because if you cut it too short and you don't get much rain, you're going to have to water, and you can let it go a little longer sometimes between.
Are weeds a bigger problem with shorter grass or with taller grass, in your experience, because it can vary?
Oh yeah. Well, what you want to do, usually the last thing to do that'll really help is always in the early part of the year, maybe January, you put down a pre-emergence. That keeps the seeds from annual weeds from coming up. As the spring goes on, maybe around the middle of March and early April, you'll use a weeding feed, which is a fertilizer plus a weed control on things that are blooming. And then as you get into the summer, more obviously the shorter grass will be less likely to show weeds, because the weeds will burn out when it gets real hot. But you'll have to get used to your lawn and how it works, because the weeding feed will do a good job taking out weeds around early April, and then later in the spring or later in the summer you might use a type of fertilizer that is designed for weeds in hot weather. But you'll have to look at your nursery for that, maybe a Home Depot type store, and it'll really help you to know how to take care of your lawn.
So if you got tall grass or short grass, which one is going to take more watering, or is it really kind of negligible?
Actually, if you are going into summer, they'll both need water a lot. But the taller the grass, the longer the grass, the less watering you'll have to do. Many people will choose a particular height based on the neighborhood or maybe the area of the country they're in. And water is a valuable asset. A lawn will always need more water, so I think the shorter the grass, the more water it'll need. The taller the grass, you can let up on it.
Does that happen because maybe the grass is taller and it shades maybe the soil, keeps the water longer?
I think maybe that is it. And the shorter the grass, obviously, the hotter the roots will get, hotter the dirt will get. So the moisture that you're able to put on it, like with a sprinkler, or maybe even if it rains on it, it'll last longer with tall grass than it will with short grass. So that's what you need.
So what about fertilizing? So if you got a short grass, I know the time of the year is probably going to be a part of it, but if you got short grass versus tall grass, which one do you change your fertilizer when you do that?
Well, actually, in the fall, if you want to really have a healthy lawn, you'll start fertilizing early and seeding early, and early around here is first week or two of September. You'll aerate it and put down the seed and the fertilizer, and you might do that 2, maybe even 3 times, but you get a healthy lawn that way. In the spring, first thing you want to always do is put down a pre-emergent in January or early February, and then you'll use a weeding feed toward the end of March into April. And they actually make different kinds of fertilizer that you can use in the summer, which will help you with a slow growth. It won't burn the grass up. But there's different techniques and different things that are needed in the fall, different things needed in the spring. Most people don't do anything in the summer, but you can if you really want to. Fertilize a little bit and water. Those are valuable things to do in unison.
What about like, pretty much it's going to be the same thing whether it's short or tall grass? Pretty much the same process?
Yeah, I believe it would be. When you are going into the fall and you're checking your lawn out, chances are if you've been letting it grow tall and letting it get pretty tall before you cut it, you could spot weak areas, and maybe weak areas could be touched up individually rather than doing the whole lawn. So it'd be cheaper, less expensive, but I suppose that would be a good way.
All right, well, that was our video for you for today, and today we were talking about the difference in short and tall grasses, some of the differences that you'll have to look at, the amount of maintenance, the watering schedules, that kind of thing. And a lot of it's just for preference, but we wanted to give you some information to kind of help you make your decision. And if you like this channel, if you like the videos, if they're helpful, click like, maybe subscribe, and it'll help us out as we bring you more and more of these videos.